fall is supposedly right around the corner. And I say supposedly because the sun is bright and shining and burning my skin and making me sweat here where I live. But if you're lucky, the leaves are changing and the air is crisp. And I envy you. And so, because I want to join in and experience the changing seasons with the rest of the world, I thought what better time but now to make a barn jacket. I would say that my style drastically changes from summer to winter. If I were to describe myself, I would say that in the summer months, one could regard me as a little fairy. But during the winter months, I'm Bob the Builder. I'm just a macho man. I'm out here just in other words, I wear workwear. I have been obsessed with barn jackets for the past decade, I would say. Some people call them barn jackets, some people call them chore jackets, work jackets, whatever you want to call them. It's just a jacket, and people used to wear these to go to work. Now, I would, with confidence, say that it's not the same people who wear these today, which I am including myself in that category. I do own a small collection of those. I thought about starting the drafting process using one of these jackets, but then I remembered that this is not my first time making a jacket. This was my first try. Honestly, I'm so proud of this one. Considering the skills that I had when I made this, came out much better than I expected. Technically, it wasn't that long ago, but I've learned so much since then. Originally, I had planned to self-draft this jacket as well. However, back then it felt really intimidating, and I didn't even know where to start. So instead, I used a free pattern that I found online, and then hacked the sleeves and the collar. That said, there are definitely small giveaways that this was a beginner project, and those won't cut it this time. But let's play a game. Let's see if you can spot them. First, it refuses to stay buttoned in here because I did not attach the hook and eye correctly. Easy fix, and I will probably do it at some point. Second, the back rides up. Not sure why. Maybe because I sized up to an XL and maybe you're not supposed to do that. And third, the sleeves are way too wide, and I actually like a very wide sleeve. However, I think I went overboard. And the reason that I'm showing you this jacket is because this is going to be my starting point, and it can be yours too, because I'm going to link the pattern in the description, and all you have to do is size up. But if this is my starting point, this right here would be the finished line. This is my boyfriend's jacket, and I'm realizing just now that I should be stealing this way more often. In my completely unprofessional opinion, design-wise, this is perfection. So in an effort not to waste an absurd amount of time, I decided that I'm going to use this free pattern as a base to draft my perfect barn jacket. I've spent the whole morning drawing, and these are the designs that I came up with. One is a bit more classic or basic, and the other one is full workwear. At this time, I think I am leaning towards the workwear a little bit more. I feel like with the fabrics that I want to work with, there just might be more alternatives, as it does have more compartments. This is one of those times where I would very much appreciate some opinion, but you guys are not here with me, so you're just gonna have to let me know after the decision has been made. I also tried to do something that I have never done, so please forgive me if this looks very rudimental, but I wanted to have a preview to see just how could the designs look with the fabric. Brace yourself. I'm going to show you the fabric, but you need to trust the vision, because there is a vision, and it's here in my brain, and it might not be clear as day, so I'm going to nicely ask you to trust me. Now, I may have disappointed you in the past, and you may not even know me, which, hi, my name is Mia, but I am going to ask you to trust the vision. So once I show you the fabric, you're going to take a deep breath, and you're going to remove all negative thoughts from your brain, and you're going to throw them into the dumpster, and then you're going to leave it in the dumpster, and you're never going to recover it from the dumpster, unless you go to part 2, you see the jacket and you hate it. And if you do, you're welcome to go to the dumpster and recover your negative thought. Well, I'm going to show you now. 3, 2, 1. Dumpster. Throw it into the dumpster. Okay. Honestly, it's not even that bad. I think some of you will have the vision. So I played around with the fabrics, and here are the 3 best alternatives in my opinion. And I have to admit that once I looked at this version of the designs, I knew for a fact that I would be moving on with the workwear design. which is very good news for me because if I need to be completely honest with you, I was very frightened to attempt a welt pocket at this time. You can also see that I played around with the color. The one on the right side is slightly bigger than the one on the left, and I made them both round because I thought it would be more interesting instead of the normal plain triangle shaped ones that you see everywhere else. I also played around with the colors fabrics, and I'm really loving the brown one, which is very reminiscent of the corduroy Burberry jackets that I absolutely adore, which I don't have any fabric for that. The only thing that comes to mind at this time are a pair of pants, corduroy brown pants that I purchased, hoping that I could one day fit in those. But I believe it's been a year already, and it still has not happened. So maybe I could, repurpose them. However, I have to say that the yellow version is very, very nice, and I'm very conflicted between these two versions. Rendezvous in the community tab, because I think I'm going to ask you. The good thing is I still have to draft my pattern, so I still have time before I have to make the tough decisions. But design-wise, I would say that I'm very confident that I like this one best. So that's the one that I'm going to be moving forward with. So let's go draft. The first part that I'm going to tackle is the main body, meaning the general shape of the front and back panels. Because I don't think I've said this earlier, but I'm looking for a somewhat roundish shape in the lower part of the body. I don't want it to be completely open, but I don't want to install an elastic. It's like I want a slight curvature, as if, what's a good example for this? Like the barrel, the barrel jeans are a good example. I do like the way they close down. Yeah, so that's what I'm going for. I started by outlining the base pattern that I'm using with a pencil, and then I traced my alterations with a Sharpie to avoid any confusion. At this point, I realized that my drawing was very similar to my Carhartt jacket, so I decided that I could maybe use rough measurements to design the compartments. Just finished my first attempt. Each motif that you see is a compartment, so we got 5 on each side, 10 total. I have to say that this is not it. I thought that by just mimicking the compartments of my Carhartt jacket, I would like the shape of this, but I don't. And I'm not entirely sure if it's because I'm just not seeing it yet, or because the base pattern is slightly different. So it just does not make sense because the numbers are not the same. I took rough numbers and I placed them where I thought they should be, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna give this another try. Maybe I should just see what comes out of my own brain. Maybe. Hopefully second time's the charm. This is way closer to what I had in mind. In fact, I think I'm pretty happy with this. There's one thing that I would like to change. Let me get you closer. This is the line that's bothering me a little bit because I feel like it curves up a bit too much, and I think I'm just going to straighten it a little bit, a tiny, teeny bit. So maybe just from here to here. All right, let's do it. I'm going to duplicate that, and then I'm going to be cutting the compartments, because in the past I have just, cut the pieces without having the base piece. And that's not too bright. This one I can't cut yet because this one is 2 parts, but the 2 parts, one is in front of the other. Yeah. So, good thing I remembered. I'm really happy because I feel like I would have forgotten. Like normal me and focused me would have forgotten. For the back, I'm doing a simple yoke portion, which also I have been thinking that if I'm not getting the terms right, like if this is not a yoke, I apologize. I am under the impression that this is a yoke, but I'm not sure. I need to start getting my terminology right. I think that's going to come with time. Yeah, it has to. Now it's time to talk about sleeves. Now I do like the sleeves that come with this pattern. However, there is one detail that I would like to add, and that forces me to slightly alter the pattern, and that's a cuff. And let me show you why I want cuffs. This is the sleeve of the pattern, and whilst I really like the width that it has all throughout the arm, I don't like how it feels around my hands. I'll show you. This is how it looks like, and I don't mind the width of it all around. However, I feel like it could be a bit more cinched. Sometimes with oversizedness, it doesn't look intentional. Sometimes it just looks like you're wearing something that's clearly not yours, or that you thrifted and that's not your size. And I feel like this is how I feel about this jacket a little bit. I did upsize to an XL, and I feel like sometimes it's all about details. So you can upsize, but you need to keep in mind and to try to avoid those giveaways. And I feel like this is a clear giveaway, that this is not my size. And now I'm going to show you a sleeve that I really like to compare. This is not my size either, but isn't there improvement? And I'm really enjoying the way it opens up right there. This is a side that I really like. So there's oversizedness, which I love oversizedness, but the cuff is here to counterbalance the oversizedness. And what I really enjoy about this sleeve, look at the creases. I feel like this type of finishing detail really make the difference between a beginner project and someone who's a bit more advanced. And honestly, I feel like that's an insecurity that I got over. I don't care if the things that I make scream beginner anymore. However, that does not mean that I'm going to stop learning and that I'm going to stop trying to improve my skills. And the one skill that I really need to improve is designing, because that's where everything starts. So I think I'm going to be attempting to replicate this cuff, but my size. The cool thing about doing things on your own is that at the end of the day, at the end of the project, you can say, I did this on my own. Technically, I'm using a base pattern that's available out there, but everything else comes out of this brain of mine. And this brain is full of ideas, believe me, full of ideas. However, no experience whatsoever, zero experience. I did not go to school for this. I did go to college, but I studied something else. And the bad thing is that maybe there's a shorter, quicker, faster, easier way to do whatever it is that you're trying to do. I believe I have all of my pieces. For the color, I'm going to be using a free pattern that I've used a bunch of times in the channel. It's going to be linked below, of course. I'm also going to be altering that, but ever so slightly, because I do like it to be a bit rounder. But I'm going to do that tomorrow, because it's very late and I'm running out of light. Yeah. See you tomorrow. Good morning. It is the next day, and it's also the day that we're going to finish designing this jacket. The only thing left for me to do is to design the collar. And like I said yesterday, I'm going to be using a free pattern as a starting point. And we're done designing. I got to thinking, and I know that the best way to know whether I'm going to like the fit of this jacket is by making a toile. However, I don't really feel like making a toile. So I thought we could make the next best thing. Why don't we start making the lining? Now there are two things that I need to take into consideration. The first one is the thickness. Do I want to quilt this lining? In terms of wanting, I can't say that I feel like doing it. But in terms of quality of clothing, I think I should. And the second thing that I need to think about is assembly. Because this time I'm making a zipped jacket, not a buttoned one. And I'm thinking about the way and the order of assembly. Because I feel like I should start with the zipper. I'm definitely not going to figure this one on my own. So I think it's time to do some research. It's time to quilt. I would say that I'm particularly bad at quilting. It's something that I really liked doing when I started sewing, and then I realized just how bad I was at it. So I stopped liking it, but not because I don't like it. It's because it doesn't like me. So this time, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to take my time ironing. I'm going to take my time drawing my lines. I would remember to leave room for shrinkage. Shrink. That's where I should go. That thing. And yeah, I'm gonna do my best today. So, I originally was planning to quilt this whole piece, but now that I'm seeing just how massive this is, I'm having second thoughts. So I think I'm going to cut the pieces first, and then I'm going to quilt them. And that way I can also control the lines of quilting. Yeah, I think it makes more sense. This one took me 15 minutes. There's improvement. I'm hoping that the back one takes even less. I mean, it is double the amount. If it's under 30 minutes, I'm happy. It's officially 5 and I'm finally finished quilting all of my pieces. Quilting wise, I think I'm not gonna do the square. I feel like I might be cutting corners, but at the same time, I just want to move on to the next part. I decided that I'm not gonna cut any corners. Only one left. Let's go. It's time to cut the pattern. So, I got the pieces. I'm gonna go ahead and search them, and then I'll do assembly. At this point, I'm wondering if I wanna first sew the side seams and then do the sleeves, or if I wanna do the sleeves first and then do the whole side seam with the sleeve. I don't know. I think I'm gonna think about it while I search. I think I'm gonna do shoulders, armhole, side seam, including sleeve. Yeah, I do need to mark on the sleeve where I'm gonna stop sewing because I'm gonna do a cuff later. And so part of the sleeve is gonna be open. I'm gonna be folding the excess and top stitch it with the main. All right, let's get started. I would say we're almost there. I'm gonna do the side seams now, and then we're gonna check the fit. I'm a bit concerned, but maybe everything's gonna be fine. Well, guys, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm still very much concerned because this is very, very thick and so many things look very weird. I'm gonna try it on the other side because that's how it's intended somehow, and I don't know how. This feels better in terms of just a thickness, and I guess it's just the padding is not on my skin, so maybe that's why. But also, now that I've worn it like this, I feel like I can work with this. Anyways, I'm gonna give you a little bit more insight. So the reason that I left so much fabric in here is because I'm gonna be adding a zipper, and I was wondering whether to add interfacing on the inside of the jacket with the same fabric as the main. And so I wanted to leave some seam allowance in here in case I cut this and sew another panel on here. In terms of color, I always like to do the color last. I just feel like when I'm working on the color, I'm solely focusing on that. And so if I were to cut the real shape of the color from the beginning, I feel like I would be stressed out as to whether I cut the right amount. I don't know why I'm so stressed out about colors. I feel like I should relax. I should relax. Bottom line of this video is I should relax. Lastly, the sleeves. So like I told you before, I'm gonna be adding some pleats. And so I don't know if I should have included the pleats in the lining. I feel like I shouldn't have. No, I shouldn't have. But I did. Anyways, I might remove a chunk of fabric from here. Well, you live and you learn. This is such a chaotic ending for the video. But I guess it's entertaining. But I am going to wrap up here because yeah, I'm gonna have to take my time with this jacket. I hope I have entertained you, and I hope I have piqued your curiosity, and I hope that you will come back next week to figure out whether I did a good job at making this jacket. And hopefully we will all be very proud of me and happy about the outcome. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you want to support, you can like, subscribe, leave a comment for sure. Tell me your favorite color combination, please, because I have not made up my mind yet. By the time that you will be watching this, I'm pretty sure that I will not have made up my mind yet. So there's a chance that your opinion impacts the outcome of this video. You can also tell me what I did wrong, because I'm pretty sure I've been doing many things wrong. But I'm hopeful I can fix it. I post every week, usually on Thursdays. See ya! How do we feel about Harry Potter nowadays? I'm wondering. Do we like Harry Potter?